Okay, here we go. Sister Wives Season 3, Tell All Part 3. We're going to go ahead and watch that and bring you along for the live review or our live reaction to what we're watching. We're already starting on Robin in the previews. Like, do you think Cody has a bias? I think that was a really big word for Robin, and she wasn't really sure what that meant.
She didn't have her dictionary.
Yeah, so here we go. It's going to be fun. Of course, we'll have our full analysis of the whole episode on our channel on that other platform. Link in my bio. Also, this woman has got to be sedated. She's got to be on something. There is just no way she is not all the way there. So she's got to be sedated on something. Cory said she's sedated on the Lord's grace. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Okay, here we start right off the bat with Coyote Pass, and Mary said she got in trouble when she asked why the property was separated that way. And she flat out says she got in trouble from Cody and Robin, which does not surprise me at all. In polygamy, there is one or sometimes two wives that are in the know, but there's typically one wife that will be in the know, and Robin was obviously in the know. And yeah, Suki keeps saying, why was the property divided that way? Nobody has a good answer for that. Robin and Cody, I'm curious to see what their answer is, because now we're on to Janelle next. I just wanted to point out, Mary blatantly said Cody and Robin are the ones she would get in trouble if she started inquiring about how Coyote Pass was divided. Oh my God, I love Janelle, that Cody always tends to come out ahead of everyone else. Oh my gosh, this is so typical of any polygamous man I've ever met. She says he's inherently selfish and that he's always out looking for his and Robin's best interest. So very true.
He makes the claim, and they all do, well, I have 18 children to take care of. You only have 7 of those. So I've got to own more of everything. And so that's why he's inherently selfish, is because he's not going to take care of those kids once they leave, but he's going to use that as a claim that he is responsible for the whole family. And so he deserves more. He is the leader of the family. He deserves more.
Yep. The entitlement of these men is mind-boggling. All right, now we're on Christine. Oh my God, I love that Christine is just calling Cody out here. And she's like, he'd use family money to go buy assets. And of course, we've talked about this in a million other videos. All those assets go to the one wife's house. She's the one who gets all of that. Yeah.
They're protecting their kingdom.
Yes. And so because he's protecting family interest. And since that's where he resides the most, that's what gets to be protected. Oh my God. It's unreal. I love that Christine just blatantly says, yeah, he's going to screw over Janelle and Mary. And he absolutely would. I think if attorneys, we know that they all sold it, but they had to get attorneys involved in order to make that happen, which is just disgusting. Yeah. So
I wish the realtor, they'd done more with the realtor, because the realtor should have told them that legally, since they were all on title, he legally did have to get their permission to sell the land.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably edited out. So
yeah, he can't legally sell that land we're both in real estate. We both know this. He cannot sell that land without everybody's written permission that's currently on title. Now he can sell individual plots, like if it's just him and Robin, and he's got Robin's permission, but he legally has to have whoever else is on title their permission to sell. So now we're on Cody. I just love that Christine just flat out called him out, that he's inherently selfish. And he is. These men, they will always make sure that their needs are taken care of first, and then they'll get around to the wife and the children if there's extra. Okay. Oh my God, so much to say here. We're definitely going to have to do a 2-part video on this, because we're not even halfway through the show. But Mary goes off. I love that they're all going off about the finances, and Janelle's saying that they have discretionary. Cody has discretionary, and that's true. That the head of the family should have some discretionary, because not everything that a wife needs to be discussed with everybody else. That's just not realistic. She doesn't need all of her personal everything splashed out there for all the other wives to judge. So that's fair. But then Mary comes in and says, I contributed just as much to the family, and the family didn't help me out. I paid for my own kids' college. And I agree, Mary probably did dump a lot more into the family than she received back financially, because she did only have just the one child. But now it's funny, because Cody's getting riled up and all upset about stuff, but then he has to pull himself back because he's currently in a lawsuit with Christine over this. And so he can't be Two, you know, Suki calls him out and says, wait, Mary paid for her own kids' college. And he's like, well, the family paid for Mary's house. And he's like, it all works out in the end. We were told this our entire lives. When there was so much level of unfairity happening, we were told all the time, it'll work out in the end. Everyone will have their needs met in the end. We both wanted to throw something at the TV when he said that. And I don't know if I can flip this camera around. I can't. I was going to show you the smartest picture we just took. We paused Cody on. And he says there's sacred cows. I thought Robin didn't know that term, sacred cow, that we're just not going to talk about on the show, sex and money. But I guess sex and money are both on the table now. Well, it's because the whole world can see just how extremely unfair this family has been to these wives versus Robin. Like, the whole world can see it. It's not just based on different houses, based on different cars, different things that people have in their homes. The whole world can see just how blatantly unfair this man has been financially. But then we're all going to keep finances off the table. It's like, you can't talk about Robin. You can't talk about finances. Can't talk about sex. All three things that Robin's benefiting from that the other family members aren't. Silly.
Maybe Robin needs to talk to Cody of what sacred cow means, because he's using the term too.
Yeah, no shit. I love it how Cody says Janelle had way too much influence over where the money went. Yep. All in the same sentence that he says none of our debts had been paid. Yeah, if Janelle had influence, I'm sure those debts would have been paid. Or she just doesn't want to pay off somebody's random doll collection, or she doesn't want to pay off somebody's random credit cards because they're racking stuff up and somebody's buying watches and all sorts of stuff. So Janelle had too much influence over where the family funds went. And then there was a lot of debt involved. Like, who is this guy fooling? Him and Robin are crazy. So yeah, of course Janelle's like, yeah, we're not paying all that debt off. Why are you guys racking up all this debt? So Janelle's over here confused and upset, while Cody and Robin are like, just pay off my credit cards and stop asking questions.
Yep. They hate being held accountable by somebody. So he's going to take over the finances at the end, because then he doesn't have to be held accountable by Janelle.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy town.
And the rest of the family.
No, I love that Janelle just brought out the word narcissist. So I think you have to be pretty, or at least have a lot of narcissistic tendencies to be a man in this religion. Cory just brought up a great point that you have to have some level of narcissism to believe, as a man in this religion, to believe that you can satisfy multiple women all at once. Not just sexually, but intimately, spiritually, like the whole relationship. Okay, I'm really surprised at Christine's answers about sex and intimacy. And she's like, yeah, when you only have intimacy 5 times a year, there's not really room to improve, to make sure that happens right. I'm like, 5 times a year? Wow, girl, you are active. So not very many times do people have intimacy in a polygamous relationship. They want to make it look that way on TV, but it's really not that way. Most people, I was lucky to have sex twice a year, once every 6 months. But it didn't feel like luck. And Christine says that in here. It felt like an obligation, a marital responsibility. And that's exactly how I felt with it too. It felt like it was a responsibility that I was supposed to do or supposed to have. And so this is very common in polygamous relationships. Women don't even know that they're supposed to enjoy it. They don't even know that it's supposed to be something that is a connection between the two of them. It's more of a marital obligation. And we'll go deeper into that on our YouTube channel when we go through our whole, when we do the whole breakdown of this show. Because yeah, my brain's getting flustered because this is so frustrating to watch. And now we get to watch Cody defend himself about how his sex is unmemorable. But yeah, so yeah, clearly she doesn't remember that much of it, but the link is in our bio. We're going to post this up to YouTube. Our full recap of the full show will be out later today. So this is just part 1. I'm going to start another video for part 2. So make sure if you watch this one first to jump over and watch the second one and then catch our full recap on YouTube. Thanks so much.